Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity, Ezel back on Cafe Vanguard, Ezel in the Vanity weekly review. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't like, comment, subscribe, don't sorry. This time we are getting started with some reveals from last week because, like I said at the end of last week's Ezel in the Vanity video, the reveals didn't kick in till after I was finished recording, and I had to translate the things myself. But thankfully, apparently, I was right, and I should have just showed the images. But pretty much, so we're gonna start off with the Avengers, and then we're gonna move on to like our actual reveals from this last week. So let's get started. First up, we have Avenger Raging Foreign Dragon. So just like Salome and Cecilia, he's the same as the original. But for those that don't know, he is a grade 3 twin drive. He has 11k base. Auto Vanguard Circle Limit Break 4. If you have 4 more damage, choose 3 of your rear guards with Avenger and their card names or kill them. And at the end of that battle, this unit tagged, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 1 copy of this from your hand. Write it as, to be more specific, Avenger Raging Form Dragon from your hand. Choose one of your Vanguard, write it, choose one of your Vanguards, and then get plus 10,000 power for that turn. So, like, Persona Ride before Persona Ride happened, or like basically at the time it came out, Break Ride on top of a possible Break Ride, and not a hard once per turn. So you found a way to call stuff back, which Bushy made cards that could call stuff back after they died. There was a good chance you could do it twice in a turn. And then Auto Vanguard counter boss only attacks. You may pay the cost if you do, gets plus 2,000 power for that battle. I still remember when Ren did this against Suiko. I rewatch that like every month now, and honest to God, I don't know why that scene felt so badass when he CB to get 3k. And then continues Vanguard or Rear Guard Lord. So for those that don't know what Lord does, if I remember correctly, it's if you have a rear guard on your board that is not the same nation as your Vanguard cannot attack, or the unit that has Lord, then the unit cannot attack that has Lord. So all around standard stuff from Break Ride. He's really cool. I don't know why looking at this felt so powerful, like I haven't seen it in years. Also, the crest looks badass as hell. So anyways, the Avenger Raging Form Dragon crest, I really wish I would have trusted my abilities of translating, because I actually did get its skill right when I said it in the comments, and I proceeded to doubt it because I thought it was BS, because I was thinking of Raging Form Dragon and not Raging Rap Dragon that it was affecting. Anyways, the crest, if you have a heart with Avenger Raging Form Dragon with Limit Break 4 ability, when you pay the cost for Limit Break 4 ability for your true Avenger Raging Rap Dragon on your Vanguard circle, this cost may be paid by retired 3 Avenger rear guards instead. So pretty much it makes this thing's cost of Counterblast, Soul Blast, G-Flip, not G-Flip, Counterblast, Soul Blast, ditch card 2, and kill 2 into just kill 3 rear guards, which is so much less fun, but also a lot less complicated. And then continues the original power of your grade 3's Limit Break 4 become 13,000, and then continues your Vanguard's Limit Break 4 abilities are active even if your damage zone is 3 or less cards, which is all around pretty solid. That means you can proc this boy off the second you get to him, and it's just very fun to have, and this crest honestly looks really cool aesthetically, so I like it. And move on to our True Avenger Raging Rap Dragon. Grade 4 triple drive, 15k base, Act G zone. If you have a grade 3, if your Vanguard's a grade 3 Avenger Raging Form Dragon and has Limit Break 4 ability, and you do not get Imaginary Gift this fight, choose more of your cards with the sum of their grades being grade 3 or greater, discard them, strike this card from your G zone face down, and then turn a Revenger and your G zone face up, and you'll get 2 Imaginary Gift forces, and you get a Revenger Raging Form Dragon crest. Then on top of that, Auto Vanguard, Limit Break 4, at the end of the battle this unit attacked. If you have a heart card with Raging in its card name by Counterblast 1 and Soul Blasting 1, and retiring 2 rear guards, you can discard 2 Abyss Dragons from your hand, and then put this card into your G-Zone face up, choose up to 1 face down copy of this card from your G-Zone, start on the Vanguard circle, stand, and lose the drive. So that ability is not once per turn, meaning as long as you can keep paying the cost, you can keep spamming it. This kind of makes this easier to pull off. In fact, I think it means you can pull this off twice consistently instead of having to have certain stuff on board, because I believe the can pay means you don't have to pay it if you don't want to that way. Like, you can choose to pay it the convoluted way. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if I'm right, then you have 2 different ways to bring this boy out. Either way, though, very good stride, gets force markers, gets Vanguard restands. It pretty much states with the crest guaranteed when you hit grade 3 you are probably getting a Vanguard restand, which is honestly pretty pressureful, especially if it is that way where you can alternate between the cost, because that means Raging Rap on your first stride turn when your opponent is at grade 2, you can casually beat the crap out of them with 5 attacks and 3 of them coming from the Vanguard, and that means a grand total of, what would that be, 2, 4, 7 drives. Pressure out the wazoo. Nice card. Then we have Impale Carriage Dragon, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear guard, the amount of the attacked, at the end about this unit attacked, bind it face down, choose one of your units, it gets plus 5,000 for the turn. All I could think about is that this is support for Sojo Doji in some way, shape, or form, because that's like the only deck I can remember that binds. And now that I'm saying it out loud, Gandiva. Never mind. Gandiva has a good support card in the form of this because free 5k and it binds, but I mean, at the same time, I don't think we need this. Like, we have plenty of... Gandiva turns anything into a front row attacker. We don't really need this, but I mean, it's extra binding fodder in case they ban more of our materials. Ahem, stir, gunna. So, 3 over 4 of. Then we have Assembled Dragon, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base. Auto placed on the rear guard circle by soul blasting 2. You can perform one of the following. Search your deck to one set order, reveal it, and if your order zone has a card with the same card name as it, put it to your hand and shuffle the deck. And then choose a set order from your order zone. If your order zone has 3 or more cards with the same card name as the counter charge 1. Either way, pretty much, you want to stack the same set order into the order zone as much as physically possible, so you can either deck then for it, or so you can counter charge from it for a cost of soul blast 2, which is kind of hefty, but kind of not. I think you can definitely use this in Meteors. Meteors can take full advantage of this, and I'm trying to think. I know there's one other Brand Gate deck, and I cannot think of it for the life of me. Either way, though, Assembled Dragon is a very good card. I feel like the 2 decks that I can think of off the top of my head that do actually stack a bunch of orders into Order Zone would definitely like this because they don't take out too much soul. And even when they do, it does get them the free counter charge out too. So all around a very solid grade 1. Searches, gets counter charge, nice 3 of, and like decks that have a bunch of set orders you want to place with the same name. Then we have our new Orphis cards. Of course, Orphis and the thing that looks like Orphis but for dark states are in the same set as each other for support. Why, I don't know. Anyways, Cardinal Draco gets stalled, grade 3 temperature. Persona 9, 13k base. Auto, when this unit is placed upon a rear guard circle with a Shadow Army token on, it gets plus 15,000 power for that turn. So on top of possibly getting boosted by a Shadow Army token during that turn, is also going to get the boost of just calling over it, which is great. So this thing's going to be a 43k swinger, 53 if you have Persona Rides, with a Shadow Army token boosting it. It's just a good grade 3 beat stick. It's a nice 2 over 3 if your plan is just to beat your opponent down with pure numbers. Then we have Carnonoid Graphim, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. We finally have a restander for Orphis. Maybe we did have one, but I don't remember it. Anyways, auto back with rear guard circle. When your Shadow Army token is placed on rear guard circle in the same column as this unit, if you have a grade 3 or grade Vanguard of Orphis in this card name, stand this unit. So, works on any of the Orphises. Cool. Obviously does the most in Regis, because Regis doesn't have the... Well, I mean, they have Nuvorio, but so does the mask version, but normal Regis does not have access to the grade 1 that does the same thing as Nuvorio, aka when a Shadow Army token is placed on top of it, call it, simply because that grade 1 is restricted to mask. So now you have a replacement for that unit to still get back or attack. It by all means is not amazing, because we would much rather have the 15k boosters, but it's giving you another option that also doesn't cost CB. So it also works on any of the Orphises, so 3 over 4 of. Then we have Cardinal Fang Raliforg. So grade 1 boost 5k shield, AK base, auto placed on rear guard circle if your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight. That is the first time in a long while I've seen an Orphis card restricted to either Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, which to my point still doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Energy Blast 3, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, to 1 card with grade 3 without Regalia's Piece, or rolled from among them, reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Okay, wait, let me get this straight. You have to Energy Blast 3, granted a resource that is not used in this deck at all unless you're using the generic cards, to look at the top 7 and grab anything. So to be more specific, you have to grab a grade 3 that is not your main win con, which means you have to specifically grab Persona Rides or Mask. Or in some cases, Nuvorio. Actually, never mind. This isn't as bad as I thought it was. I just thought it was like only searching those, which is kind of 50-50. But now I'm thinking about it, it can search Nuvorio. It's not that bad. So 2 over 3 of. And then change guard circle if your world is the Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight. Guess what 5,000 shield. I don't know why like half of them are restricted to that thing and half of them aren't, but whatever. Either way, it's a 10k shield and it searches. Its searchability is kind of naff in my opinion, but it's still good. So it's 3 of. Then we have Flashing White Scythe Baladred. I do not know why when I first saw it, my mind immediately focused in on this and assumed it was the Dark States card. And then I looked at this and then my mind actively, I remember my mind was literally shifting back and forth between this art and the actual art of the faded one of Zero. But anyways, really cool name, really cool art. And honestly, I don't really care for the effect, but I will run this in any generic deck I can splash it in just so I can see this card because I actually love looking at this thing. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, continues rear guard circle during the battle that it boosted. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater and you have 2 or more set orders in your order zone, she'll get plus 5,000 power, so 13k, which is pretty solid. And then auto rear guard at the end of battle this unit boosted. If your order zone has set order in it, put it to soul, look at the top 5 cards of your deck to 1 grade 2 or greater unit card or 1 set order from on them, reveal it, put it to hand, and shuffle your deck. This is so good because it hits just simply by playing Brantgate. Every single Brantgate deck will almost always be guaranteed to get a set order either on the first turn of the game or on their second turn when they're at grade 2, typically when you're going to swing with this or boost with it. So the fact that this on turn 2 is active for most of Brandgate, if not all of it, and can get you soul and can pretty much search your materials you're going to want to use afterwards, possible persona rides, more set orders, doesn't matter, it is an amazing grade 2. I love grade 1. I love this card so much. I'm going to go shove this in Eldogramma because I really want to use this. 4 of. Next up we have Fluffy Chili Protection Leaky, grade 1 boost, 5k Shodeke base, auto input from hand onto guard circle. If you have one of those rear guards, she'll get plus 10,000 power for that battle, so a nice support card for Chris Rain. If Chris Rain really needed more shield value, which in my opinion she doesn't, since you know she hard bounces your entire board, I feel like we could have had more multi-attack coming into this instead of heavily relying on very specific card, Innocent Orange, to, you know, spam the rear guard after you bounce all your stuff, or make the Divine Skill more deadly. But hey, it is what it is. Leaky is not a bad grade 1, but not necessarily the grade 1 we need, so 2 over 3 if we do actually choose to run it. Then we have Steam Performer 2Dia, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, auto rear guard, then battle that she boosted if your unit was placed on rear guard from your soul this turn. Doesn't matter who it was, it doesn't have to be her, as long as something was placed on rear guard from soul this turn and she boosted. Retire this unit, choose a grade 3 rear guard card or larger since card from your soul, it drops them, bot deck it, and then if you chose a card, choose any player's rear guard and put it to soul. So pretty solid, the fact that it can send any rear guard to soul to possibly replace the thing that you bot deck. Say for example you have an Orist Larges on rear and an Orist Larges soul, you can send the one in soul back to bottom, then you can send the one in rear guard back to soul, so you don't really lose anything. So I actually feel like 2Dia is probably the best of the grade 1s so far revealed that support their respective start deck grade 3, just because she's the only one that to my knowledge can technically loop the other one back into soul. So by all means, she is not a horrible grade 1. In fact, I really like her, especially because she doesn't cost CB or soul to use. So I think she's like a nice 3 of, if not a 4 of, in an Orist Larges deck. Like I said, personally, she's my favorite of the grade 1 so far.
And now onto our final reviews for today. First up, we have some Solarian cards. It's weird because it said that we were going to get 5 cards in total with Solarian and Gandiva, so I expect it to be an even 3-3 split, or like 2-2 split, and we get 1 generic card, and we proceeded to get a half generic card, and then 3 Solarian cards and 1 actual Gandiva card. I don't really know how to feel about this. Either way though, let's go and get started. Grade 2 instead 5k shield, 10k base, academic of anatomization lectures, and I really wish I listened to my instinct and did the crop on this one because this thing looks really cool. But don't worry, it'll be in the thumbnail. Auto rear guard, I didn't about this unit attacked if you revealed a normal unit by the ability of Vanguard Solarian and its card name this turn. Shove it to soul, countercharge 1 if it was placed on rear guard from deck this turn, you may draw a card. All around pretty solid because it gets soul for Solarian, it gets CB for him, pretty much giving you a free turn of Solarian. And the best part was I used to run Tunar, which is essentially a worse version of this because Tunar required you to have 3 face down damage, so I would just casually go all in with Tunar, but this one does not require that and is not a hard once per turn. Granted, you can only use it twice or 3 times per turn depending on if you can get top deck multi-attack that turn, but a free soul, free countercharge, and possible free draw 2. Lectures is a very nice 4 of in the Solarian edition. Then we have Academic of Ingathering Harvesting, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto placed on rear guard circle. If you have a grade 3 or grade Vanguard with Solarian and its card name, choose to 1 grade 2 or less normal unit without Sentinel from your drop zone, put it top of deck or into soul. So all around pretty solid. It can either get you more soul, again for Solarian's ability, or it can help stack the deck with normal units to abuse Solarian's stack deck ability. So all around, very good grade 1. Sadly, it can't get a PG, and when I first read its skill, mainly because I didn't see this part, I assumed it was bad because all I saw was the soul and the Sentinel, and I was like, that sucks. But then I saw the top deck part, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I don't know, if you want to run this, if it's a nice card to have for deck stacking, but I think we have enough of them. But if you want to run it, it's a 2 of or 3 of. Then we have Academic of Endeavoring Ethel, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when placed on rear guard circle. If you have a grade 3 grade Vanguard with Solarian's card name, counterbalance one of the top 5 cards of your deck to 2 grade 2 list grade 3 unit cards from among them, call it to rear guard circle, shuffle the deck, and if you call it 2, choose a card from your hand, reveal it, put it top of deck if it's a normal unit, and discard if it's not. So pretty much pay a single counterblast, either get 2 rear guards and a deck stack, or get 1 rear guard and you lose nothing in your hand. This card is amazing, and I don't think I need to tell you why, because board nuke decks just get effed over by this, especially with our new counterchargers. So 4 of. You know, one more thing I like about this countercharger, the fact that the countercharge isn't the half that's locked behind the place from deck, it's the draw, meaning you will always get that countercharge. cool. I just really love that counter charge. If you can't tell, and this is definitely a 4 of. Then we have our cards for Gandiva. First up, we have Flare Bolt Dragon, Great on Boost, 5k shield, 8k base, and auto when placed on rearguard circle during your main phase. If you have a grade 3 Great Vanguard Gandiva in the card name, counterpunch one choosing punch rearguard murder it. If something was not murdered, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose to one grade 3 unit card from among them, call it to rearguard circle, and discard the rest. So, this, I want to let this be clear, this is a rare. This grade 1 is a rare. And this grade 1, for simple CB, not only kills a rear guard, but if it doesn't kill something, it gets you a rear guard instead, and half of Gandiva's support is on places, and then beyond that, it also fills up your drop zone, so you can then use Gandiva's skill to bind. If this isn't a 4 of, or at the very least a 3 of off the argument of space and nothing else, I don't know what is, because that is actually really cool. So, like I said, 3 of space, 4 of extra. And then we have Drag Ritter Digram, who I was planning on running in this deck, and then after seeing one very specific line of text that I can't use the full effect of, because I don't plan on putting orders in Gandiva, I don't know about it. But thankfully he can be used in Eugene, so there's that. Anyways, auto when placed on rearguard circle, it's a grade 2 with 5k shield 10k base, and you have a grade 3 or grade Vanguard with Eugene or Gandiva in its card name, Soul Boss 1 and Energy Blast 3. Oh, we're going really hefty on the cost here. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and kill it. If something was not killed, you draw a card, and this unit gets auto rear guard once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. Your Vanguard attacked. Choose one of your former rear guards, including itself, and stand it until end of turn. And then continues rear guard. If you put in normal order this turn, it gets boost. Okay, I'm gonna ignore this part real quickly because I'm not gonna run this in Gandiva on the simple fact I don't like to run orders in Gandiva because I feel like at that point it's just too oppressing. But Eugene has 5 attacks now. 6 attacks, actually. Because you can just use 2 of these, and then you have the thing that stands with Eugene. And, yeah, you know what? All we're missing is a grade 4 Eugene, and suddenly Eugene becomes deadly because we've been given access to 6 attacks. So, I'm kind of thinking if I should do a Eugene DZ set 2 deck profile now. Well, we'll see what that happens there. But either way, that's it for the reveals today. I hope you guys enjoyed. In the next one, I think we are getting, what's his name? The faded one of Zero. Oh, no, we're not actually. And I'm really glad I checked Discord, but instead we are getting Zorga. So I will see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us on Twitch, and I'll see you all in this one. Don't forget to set up your Vanguards.